Welcome to Detox Radio with renowned speaker and advocate Denise Brown and life coach and author Danielle Pierre. Voices that inspire change. Make sure to tune in every week as Denise and Danielle bring in expert speakers to discuss and educate their listeners on a variety of topics. And now, your hosts, Denise and Danielle.
Hi, I'm Denise Brown.
And I'm Danielle Pierre.
Tonight we have two great guests. Stacy Sable is here from Amberwatch Safetext.
And we also have psychopathologist and award-winning author Sandra Brown joining us tonight.
But before we introduce our first guest, here's Danielle with what's happening in the news.
It has been 10 days since 5-year-old Jessie Shockley from Glendale, Arizona, disappeared out of her home on October 11th. She was being watched by her 13-year-old sibling while her mother went to a nearby store. When her mother returned 20 minutes later, Jessie was gone. Her family is out every day looking for the 5-year-old, and Jessie's grandfather has been handing out flyers to drivers in the Glendale, Arizona neighborhood where she was last seen. Friends and family showed up at the state capitol in Arizona on Thursday, hoping to get the governor's attention. Jessie's grandmother, Shirley Johnson, says she's planning a rally at the state capitol at 2 p.m. on Monday, hoping to have state leaders show up and call more attention to the search for Jessie. Jessie is described as a black female, approximately 3 feet 5 inches, 55 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Jessie is 3 years old. She was last seen at her apartment in Glendale, Arizona, wearing a white T-shirt, blue jean shorts, and pink sandals. If you have any information on Jessie's whereabouts, you're asked to call the Glendale Police Department in Arizona at 623-930-HELP. That's 623-930-3246.
What is Amberwatch Safetext? It's a solution to keep kids safe in a world of over 3,300 text messages per month. Amberwatch Safetext is a way for you, the parent, to keep your child safe in a current world of text and social-based communications. With over 3,300 messages being sent and received monthly, Amberwatch Safetext automatically helps you monitor the messages to your child. Amberwatch Safetext will alert you if dangerous or inappropriate messages are detected by its proprietary database and patent-pending processes, so you don't have to review the hundreds of messages on your child's phone that could include unidentifiable words, phrases, and slang. Also note, Amberwatch Safetext is an advocate of the parent-child teaching process. Amberwatch Safetext is not designed or intended to be spyware. Amberwatch Safetext is a technology tool to help you protect your child and simultaneously help them build safe communication skills. And joining us this evening is Stacy Sable of Amberwatch Safetext. Hi, Stacy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Stacey.
Hello.
Okay, in our introduction, we gave a brief overview of what Amberwatch Safetext is. But now let's talk about what Amberwatch Safetext can do for someone who's being bullied and receiving threatening messages. Stacy, who should be using Amberwatch Safetext?
Any family that has children that have cell phones should have this app on their phones. It basically alerts the parent through, not spyware, but with permission of the child, that a text message that could have information, language, anything about bullying or discriminating words or violent words or harassing words, it shows the parent what is being discussed and transmitted through their cell phone, and the parents are then alerted even if they're not with the child at that time.
Okay, so the parent is alerted through an email that is going to go to them, or do they have the app on their cell phone as well?
The parent has the app on their cell phone. So what would happen is, for example, most bullying cases take place in school, believe it or not, whether it's on a lunch break or they're on recess or they're just messages when they can. So if your parent's at work or they're home, their phone will be alerted that there's a message that went to your child's phone or your child sent a message. And the only way they're going to be alerted is that there were words used that say that there are bullying words or derogatory words, and the parent is alerted. And they can also go to the app on the website and see the stream of conversation that is going between both parties.
Oh, okay. So, but does the parent, or is this already in the app, the bad words that alert that parent? Does the parent have to add the words Like
no. The solution alerts the parents. They already have a database of different languages in different categories. So it also includes undefinable words, phrases, slang, acronyms in different categories such as adult language, mature language, alcohol, bullying, harassment, gambling, drugs, enticement, profanity, weapons, and suicide.
Wow.
So if somebody has a thought of, for example, I can't stand Billy because he did this to me, I'm going to kill myself. Well, right then and there, you're going to be alerted. Whether they said it in jest, they didn't mean it, or hopefully they didn't mean it, and then the parent will be alerted. Actually, it's both parties that are in this conversation. So it's really, really an important tool now with cell phones being the way of the world in this digital and technological world that we live in. It's how our kids communicate. There's no other reason there's not a reason not to have it, basically.
Yeah, actually, kids, I think, text more than they talk, right? These days.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Children don't even know how to talk on the phone, let alone the average amount of text that children do in a month are over 3,500 texts. And that's not saying that I think children with this app feel like, oh my goodness, my parents are going to read all my texts. I don't know any parent that has time to read 3,500 texts in a month.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
But
yeah.
What happens is, which I have 2 children of my own, and I've stressed it to them, I don't want to read your text messages. But as parents, we need to guide them. We need to educate them. We need to make them aware that this is what goes on through this technological world. Bullying used to be in the playground. The big kid would pick on the little kid. That's what bullying was. It would be a little push, a little remark. But now you send a text. You can copy and paste that text and send it to other people. It's a domino effect. So if we don't stop it, our children don't know how to stop it. So we have to intervene and say, hey, we want to work with you. Let's work together. And I'm here to help you. I'm not here to take away your phone. I don't want to punish you, but I need you to have some guidance, which I think just in parenting is important anyway.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. Okay, what do you say to somebody when the child screams, I want my privacy. I want to keep my privacy. I don't want you, getting involved or interfering in any of my life that's going on in school. What do you say to somebody like that?
Well, I would tell my child or anybody who asks me that, I would say, I'm not getting involved. I'm not going to solve your problem. I'm not going to go into school and confront the person that's texting you, but you and I are going to sit down and discuss how we handle it. How do we respond? If it's an isolated one-time incident, okay, you know what, let's handle it the right way and nip it in the bud right then and there. But if this is really an ongoing situation and your child is being bullied through text messaging, then maybe you need to go to the principal. But you need to do it as a team. You need to let your child know, I'm not going to embarrass you by this, and I'm not going to punish you because you're either the recipient or you're doing it. But you need to know how to use the tool of the cell phone properly. And I wouldn't say to my child that I'm not, I want you to have your privacy. I do. I don't want to know everything. But I don't want there to be another problem. I don't want you to be a victim. You need to have confidence. You need to stand up for yourself. You need to confront a bully, which is a whole other subject, because they don't know how. They don't know how to do it. And just hitting that delete button, yes, that's great because you can ignore them, but you really need to stop it. You can't just sweep it under the carpet and think it's going to go away. And a child is not educated to know how to handle a situation like that. So I truly believe a line of communication between a parent and a child is very important to let them know that I'm on your team. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to, go into your archives of your text messaging or your emails or anything like that, but I'm not going to let you be bullied.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And, there's a fine line, I think, between privacy and safety. And what I mean by that is I'm all for children having an amount of privacy that's healthy. But I think there's a line there where it becomes a safety issue. And if they're in jeopardy, we should certainly be aware of it. Whether it's
but what's interesting with that? I don't want to impose on my children, but, research has shown, statistics have shown, children today communicate through their cell phone, through video chatting, IMing. They're on their computers. The child comes home from school. They run to their computer. They go in their rooms. We don't hear a peep out of them until they sit down for dinner. And we don't even know what's going on and what sites they're on. We don't really know anything. And a lot of children that are bullied, they come home, they go in their room, they feel like they don't have a reason to go back to school. And they exhibit the exact same behavior as a child who was doing the bullying. So everybody comes home, goes in their room, and that's how they communicate. They can't wait to see the messages. They look on all these social media networks that are available to them. So we kind of need to break that privacy just a little bit, because you have to know what's going on in your child's world. You should know who their friends are. You should know, drop them off at the parent's house and introduce yourself to the parent. We all should be doing that today.
That was in my day. We used to do that in my day, and that was a long, long time ago. But, Stacy, you were talking about, okay, kids get on their computer, they go into their room, they get on their computer, you don't see them for the rest of the evening until dinner time. Does this app also go into the computer, or is this strictly for your cell phone?
Well, originally we started out the company by doing a block on through emails, so that we were able to identify through instant messaging and emails. But with the growth of cell phone use and with the ability to not only just text, but sexting or sending photos through the phone, because you can't take your laptop to school. I mean, yes, you can to do work, but I'm talking about communicating with your friends. Kids hide I went to an open house at my children's middle school, and the principal literally stood up and said, "No phones in school. I know you're going to bring them. I know you hide them in your Ugg boots," which the girls all started cracking up. It's true. And first of all, I don't even know why they need a cell phone in school. We never had them. I mean, we managed really well without them. But, parents today are buying phones for their children at earlier and earlier ages. Now kids in elementary school, which is primarily K through 4th grade perhaps, they have phones. And
6-year-olds have cell phones?
Yes, you're giving them a phone. And you know what it is? They give it to them for a multitude of reasons. One, they want it, so they give it to them. Two, a lot of these cell phone companies, promote family plans. We're going to get a free phone. You're going to get 4 phones, so we might as well just get the phone. And then it's like, you know what? It's a good idea. Have the phone. You're going to go home with your friends. Call me, text me when you get there, as if house phones don't have landlines anymore. Right. So you're giving your child a tool that now not only they communicate with, but most of them you can go on the internet with. So it's really, if you're opening up your child to this world, but you're not giving them direction, you're not giving them boundaries, and you're not giving them education on how to use it, then it goes back to, well, how can you give them privacy? They've got to know what's going on. You should know what your children are looking at online. My kids know how to use the phone better than I do. Sometimes I have to say, girls, how do I get to that site? And they're in a snap. They know how.
You know what? The younger the kids are, the more into the technology and understanding of the technology they are. Now, I have a question. Back in 1993, well, this is actually a statement. Back in 1993, there were 5,000 websites. Today, there are over 2.5 billion, with a B, websites. Okay, there's pedophiles, there's child molesters on those sites. Over 12,000 of them are being run by pedophiles. I mean, come on, it's a scary world out there, people. I mean, that's just on that end of the spectrum. Now we're talking about this end of the spectrum that you can actually, with your children, peer-to-peer. So, I mean, it is a scary world out there, and we as parents have to do whatever we can to keep our children safe and alive.
How about this, girls? 160,000 children, okay, based on statistics from Stomp Out Bullying, 160,000 students stay home on any given day just because they're afraid of being bullied or made fun of in school. Now, bullying is a very broad spectrum. It's not an isolated word. It's not one specific thing. Bullying ranges from your race, your sexual preference, your clothing, your size, your shape, what you brought for lunch for that matter, the shoes you have on. So when you say to me, what do you say to someone whose child wants privacy? I would say, well, you've got to allow me into your world, or you can't just be in your world by yourself right now at this young age. How would you not? I mean, this world is so gigantic, and the tools that are available to our children just through a little cell phone, it can put them in harm. It can put them in danger.
Yeah. That goes back to Jamie, who just lost his life. He killed himself because of his sexuality, because kids were bullying him and teasing him and calling him all kinds of names. And children are losing their lives.
Denise, on the interview with his parents, he said everything was going okay. He said everything was going okay. And maybe he wanted to believe, and I am not speaking on an authority of it because it's a horrific situation, but you've got to have an open line of communication with your child, with or without a cell phone. That's just a standard thing that every family should have. You should ask your kids how their day was. Not a yes or no question, but how was math today? Make them communicate with you. Engage in conversation. Have sentences.
Yeah, have sentences. A majority of the children today don't know how to have sentences because when they text on their cell phones, U isn't Y-O-U. U is just the letter U. R is the letter R. It's really sad on how our kids' communication skills have gone right down the toilet because of these cell phones and because of the way, the internet and the social networks these days. It's really, really scary. So I truly believe that your app should be in every home across the country. This Amberwatch Safetext app should be in every house. And I wouldn't understand a parent if they would question it.
Well, the great thing about us, and I stress this even with my friends, my peers, other people I come in contact with, it's not spyware. I'm not sneaking it on my kids' phones. I even told my children about it. I said, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is what we're doing. At first, they're kids. They're teenagers. I don't know, Mom. I don't know. And I said, let me explain why I'm doing it. I trust you. I believe in you. I believe sometimes you have funny conversations with your friends. Of course, we all do that. However, it's a mean world out there. And there are mean kids and there are jealous children. And jealousy is one of the primary reasons why children bully, because they are jealous of what somebody has, what they're wearing, what they do, all of that. Or they're just so incredibly insecure that this gives them empowerment for some reason. And a lot of people that do the bullying somehow gather a crowd because people think it's cool when you rough somebody up or you talk mean to somebody because you get a little chuckle. But the bottom line is, I say to my girls, you don't treat anybody that way. It's very important to be nice because you don't want someone to do it back to you. So the only reason why I'd put this on is really to monitor, just to help you. If you're in a situation you don't know how to respond, I don't want you to dig a hole for yourself. I want you to stand up proud, tell the person, you know what, you're not nice. I don't deal with nice people. And if you don't have anything, it's funny, you want to say to them, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. But it's kind of like if you have nothing nice to text, don't text it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I caught myself there. I'm like, you're not really talking because you hide behind it. Bullies hide behind a cell phone. They cannot confront you. They can't say to your face something because they can text it. And once you hit send, it's great. It's out there. But they hide. They use the phone, the computer, or anything of that type. They hide behind it because they themselves are probably the weak ones. They're the ones that are insecure or are not happy with themselves. And their parents should also know because we got to help them and build up their confidence. There's no reason to do it.
Yeah, right. So that they don't.
I'd love to change the world and see everybody getting along. But if we all start somewhere, and as parents and as adults, responsible adults, we need to have responsible children.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I have a question, Stacy. With this app, now you put it onto your child's phone, and then, of course, there would be one installed in your phone as well. How does that all work, and does it have to be within the same plan?
Yes.
Just kind of a technical question.
Yes. Okay, what happens is you would go on our website, and you would be able to download the app through our website or through AT&T. AT&T just picked up the app nationwide, and you put your phone numbers in, and there's a breakdown of how many numbers you can have. But what the best thing about our app is it's on your child's phone, but it tells them it's on your phone. So you really can't go behind their back, and that's also a great thing because you're saying, I trust you, so this is why I'm doing this. It's not spyware, so you can't put it on your spouse. You can't put it on someone else's phone to follow them like you could do
GPS.
with other phones.
Like a GPS?
It is. There's also a GPS on it. So you
really?
find out if your child's supposed to call you when they get home from school, and they didn't call you, and then you text them and they don't respond, you can actually go onto the site, plug in your phone number, and through the GPS, it will tell you where the phone is. So we'll give you an address alert and tell you where the phone is, so you know if they went home to their friend's house, okay, that address shows up, I see that they're there, it's probably in their school bag and they forgot. Maybe they left it at school, or maybe a very worst case scenario happened and, God forbid they were abducted, and you find the phone laying in a street or it's smashed, whatever, it will identify where the phone is. We also introduced, which is fantastic, you shouldn't drive and text anyway, but a lot of young people are driving. A lot of young people are texting. We have a device on our phone that will alert the parent if the child is in the car texting while they're driving. It will show the speed and show where they are. So you will know who your child is texting, who's texting your child, and if your child is answering while the car is in motion.
The driving and texting, that's a good app to have here in California because texting is illegal here in the state of California. You cannot drive and text here. And I think that they're doing that across the country as well. I mean, they're trying to get those laws passed.
But that leads me into the next thing. There's laws now. There's 44 states that have not the best laws, but at least they have a law for bullying. There's different states that have, you can't really show that is it bullying, is it harassment, is it stalking. There's a very fine line, and the best part about having the safe text on your phone is you have proof. You have proof.
Yes.
That something happened. That's one of the biggest things you need. You can't go to a principal and say, my son or daughter was being bullied by so-and-so, and the principal's going to say, okay, do you have any proof? And you look at them and go, yes, I do. I printed it out. This was the context of the text that was going back and forth during school hours, I mind you. Okay, this is what happens. This is who's doing it. I have proof right in front of you. You can go to authorities if it gets out of hand, almost to the point where somebody's threatening your child. Somebody's really harassing them. You want to stop it before it gets to the point where a child takes their life because they feel, because they've been told that they're not worth it, that their life, that their being on this earth is not worth it because they're gay, because they're short, because they're fat, because of their race. That's why we have to stop it.
Yes. So this app has a lot more perks to it than just the bullying aspect, but also you can, like you said, if your child were to get, and hopefully not, but in an abduction case or a missing case, there's also, if the child has the phone on them, you can find where they, there's so many things here.
Well, remember, it's not going to solve the abduction. What it will do is it'll just give you, through the GPS, identification where the phone is. You don't want to get to that point, but just where the phone is, it's not going to tell you where the child is, but if the phone was thrown out a window or something, you're going to know where the phone is, which, yes, that's one step closer, and it's identification, but there's so many wonderful, wonderful things that this app does, and it helps just kind of bridge the gap between the child and the parent.
Yes. And that's probably the most important part of it is bridging that gap because with the communication lines open, these tragedies likely won't happen.
Stacy, is it easy to download this app?
It's actually very easy. You can go to Amberwatch Safetext.com, and for all of your listeners, what we would like to do is offer them 3 months free. They go onto the site. They go to download the app. In the authorization code area, they would type in DTalk Safetext. Again, that's DTalk Safetext, one word. They bypass the information with the credit cards, and they now put in the phone numbers that they would like to monitor, and then it would download right to their phones.
Great.
And then they can try for 3 months free. They can extend the offer to their friends, anybody that they know, and this way you can try it, and I can't imagine anybody not loving it, not wanting it, not living without it. It's a great thing to have.
And it'll keep our children alive.
Yes.
You know what? It's going to keep them alive because we as parents are going to help educate them and make them aware. They don't know anything different. If we don't tell them and we don't teach them, then they think what they're doing is okay. And there's 3,500 texts a month. Maybe a handful of those are the bad ones. We need to get those bad ones out. We need to let the children know we're here, we work together. And with that said, the privacy thing, I don't know. I think we're the parent. We need to use our authority to say, hey, I'm giving you a phone, but you got to use it the right way. You don't want it to be a weapon. You want it to be something to use for what it's supposed to be, which is communicating.
Stacy, thank you. This is wonderful.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's a wealth of information, and I truly believe that every parent should have this app and every child should have this app to keep their kids safe. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And I do encourage everyone to go to our website or to the Safetext website that Stacy said earlier. Do you want to repeat that, Stacy, real quickly?
Sure.
For the listeners?
It's Amberwatch Safetext.com. And then again, they can go on. They can download the app onto their phones. The authorization code that your viewers could use and pass along would be BTalk Safetext. That will provide them 3 months free of the app on their phones. It's very, very easy to follow. The kids will probably know how to do it better than the parents, actually, but talk to your child about it. Look on this. I mean, it's
Wonderful.
funny, but the kids will probably know. But look on the site. Look on what we do. Look at what we offer. Share it with your child. That's the purpose. It's not something we're going to do behind their back. And explain it to them. So they get it for 3 months free. And again, they're going to love it. They're going to love it. I can't imagine any parent not using it.
Right. And you can find it on our site as well, detoxradio.com. And we'll have all the information there for you readily available. So thank you again, Stacy.
My pleasure, girls. Thank you.
Bye, Stacy.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Bullying, violence, and suicide among teenagers and college students has increased tremendously over the past few years. We need to educate our families, students, school staff, and the community on how to detect a problem and prevent a tragedy. The Elite Speakers Bureau, Inc. was formed to educate the public and bring awareness to many issues, including bullying, abuse, violent crimes, stalking, and mental health, just to name a few. Our speakers are professionals with vast knowledge on these topics. The Elite Speakers Bureau team includes renowned authors, advocates, therapists, celebrities, and more. If you would like to book one of our acclaimed speakers for your next event, or for more information, visit www.theelitespeakersbureau.com or call 949-544-1410. That number again is 949-544-1410.